Cowboys. What y'all got to say? Oh, we about to go to the...
Shut up! Before I bust a cap up in your ass.
I thought y'all was beating the world.
Shut up!
Maybe next...
Say another motherfucking word and this shit is over.
But we the most hated franchise and everybody...
Shut the fuck... Shut... No! Oh, shit! Say it again. Say something else. Oh! Say something else. Say something else.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Head to Head Sports. I'm your host, Brian Parker, with my co-host, Mr. Randall Hargrove. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, man? They were
Oh,
almost 0-2. They were almost 0-2.
I know. You know what? It's funny because I told Lori yesterday we were watching the game, and we were, as soon as Russ hit that long bomb and gave him the lead, man, we were jumping up and down screaming. And then I got myself together and I said, "It's too much time left." And but the whole thing was, you let Russell, let's ride, put up 450 yards on your ass. You barely won due to a 64-yard field goal in the regulation, and then an untimely interception to barely squeak out a win against a team that most people had predicted you were going to blow them up in that game. Did not come to fruition at all. Your secondary looked like absolute trash because Jerry wanted to stop the run and forgot that, hey, you might want to have enough pressure on the quarterback so you don't have time to get it to your damn receivers, to the receivers out there. So that was interesting. That was interesting to say the least. So the fact that they're taking, it's not so much a moral victory because you did win, but what I told everybody, ran at the wine bar that we were at, is that the Cowboys, even though the Giants lost, every other team in the NFL is going to see that tape, see how atrocious that secondary is, and if they can't get pressure with their front four, they can be exposed by down the field passes.
Yeah, I think it's just hilarious that their answer to all of that is to sign Jadeveon Clowney.
That was that was his announcement after the game is that, hey, you know, we had a guy that could really be a disruptor in the run and pass game, and guess what? We replaced him with Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. It was the headline that he thought it was.
Yeah, good luck with those 4 sacks. I hope they really help you.
If he doesn't get hurt, you know, who knows what game shape he's in and stuff like that. So, yeah, you had a guy that could already do it, and you traded him out for a guy that's at least 10 years older than him almost. So, yeah. This is why, and you know what? And one of my friends that I work with, we were on a Teams call today, and she said exactly what I knew the Cowboy fans would say. She said it verbatim. A win is a win. I said, you're right. You should get used to them now because you won't see too many of them in December and January if y'all keep playing like that.
Yeah, they know how this ends. They know how this ends.
She does. And she kind of like threw her hands up in the air, almost just saying, well, yeah, you're probably right. So I would go ahead and enjoy this win. I'm like, I remember years past when they had the Giants and the Commanders on their schedule in the first 3 weeks. Those were automatic wins. My, how the tides have changed.
Big time.
And that was a damn home game in Dallas. What's going to happen when they go to New York? Jesus. Oh, yeah. Man. It's hilarious. Well, since we started on these Cowboys, do you think that Russell Wilson has actually helped calm down some of these folks that were calling for Jackson Dart to start ahead of schedule, basically by coming in a lot sooner than, coach and GM had planned for him?
He's delayed it by 2 weeks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Big performance like that, they're going to give him next week. And if he has a poor performance next week, then they'll be calling for him in 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
But um, you know, right now he's just delayed it a little bit. People are still wanting to see Jackson Dart up in there. He's the younger quarterback. They know they only got Russ for a year, so they want to see what their future looks like. I don't blame them for it.
Well, I think Malik Neighbors was just fine yesterday with him. He had 9 receptions for 167 yards.
Yeah, yeah. I had that bad boy for fantasy last year. I missed out on him this year, but I kind of saw performances like that coming from him. That was, in my eyes, the best receiver out of last year's draft.
Oh,
No question.
absolutely. And if he had had well, I want to say if he had a decent quarterback because he had Danny Dimes last year, but Danny Dimes and got to change the scenery. He's not the same dude. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know if it's just being in that big blue that just does that to you. But Danny Dimes don't look the same. So who's to say it was all on Danny Dimes as far as Neighbors and his. We saw his potential last year. We certainly didn't see anywhere near the ceiling because a lot of times it just really depends on who's throwing you the ball. But yeah,
yeah.
30 of 41 for 450, 3 touchdowns, and of course that untimely interception in the overtime when he was really, I understand why people are mad about that. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to give his guy a chance to go up there and get it. He underthrew the ball though.
Yeah. And I mean, they can't be mad because Russ is one of the best deep ball passers
He was
in the
doing it
NFL.
all game.
I mean,
That's the whole game. That's what he was doing.
what should have been a game-winning touchdown pass rained right down into Neighbors' arms.
Yeah.
The defense just could not hold. They pulled a Buffalo Bills versus Kansas City in the AFC Championship. They just couldn't hold. Um, so it cost them the game. And like you were saying, Dallas has got one of the best field goal kickers. To their credit, they
Yeah.
do
Oh
have
yeah.
something.
Yeah. People in the bar were like,
That is the
well, he might miss it. I'm like, Brandon is not going to miss this. It's a chip shot. I said, when he hit that 64-yarder, it could have been 70 and it would have been good. Yeah. There was no, and it was straight down the middle. I mean, it wasn't like it barely cleared upright or anything like that. It was as true as it could be. So, no. That's
saw some ridiculous stat with him. I think he's hit like, I don't know, 30 of the last 35 from beyond 50. It's something crazy like that.
I saw that. That's exactly right. Exactly what it was.
That dude is insane accuracy and power too. So Dallas, you got that one. We'll see what you do next week.
Well, it does help them right now in the NFC East because it's going to put them actually tied for first place with my Philadelphia Eagles since the Commanders did stumble this past week to the Packers. This was a game played last Thursday where the Packers actually won that 27-18. I did believe the Packers would win the game. I just did not believe that they would make Jaden Daniels look so much like he was in a sophomore slump.
Hold on, aren't your Eagles 2-0?
Oh yeah. They 2-0.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The Cowboys are 1-1.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So the Eagles in first place. The Cowboys and the Commanders are tied for second. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I misspoke. You're right. Yeah, good call. Yeah. But yeah, Jaden Daniels did not have that good of a game. He was 24-42, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Jordan Love, not too much different. 19 of 31, 292, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But it was, again, another great showing by the defense of the Packers. That defense looks really damn good.
The addition of Michael Parsons has just elevated their entire defense. It really has. And the players have talked about it in the locker room, in interviews, how just his presence has brought this energy that they didn't have before. And you look at how they feel, see it.
Well, you know what I really thought was interesting in that game I watched, it was the fact that they forced Jaden Daniels to take off and run, but it wasn't so much that they forced him to take off and run because he's such a dynamic runner, but their pursuit of him, like they cut off a lot of his angles that he normally makes a living off of, like breaking out to that edge and gaining all those extra yards after he tucks the ball and decides to run. he had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They bottled him up fast. I was like,
Mm.
damn, he was suffocated. Like they already knew which way he was going to start to go, and they were there before he got there. I was like, okay, this is how you're going to nullify what he's able to do. They only had 51 total rushing yards in that game.
Yeah.
That Green Bay defense just stifled what they normally do best. And of course, Eckler got hurt in that game as well. They went down with somebody else too. That's going to be going to injured reserve. So uh, I saw where they just signed Chase Brown um, uh, today, I believe it was, or yesterday. He's going to start out on the practice squad, and then if they need to elevate him, they'll certainly do that. So
Yeah.
Eckler's for the year again. Again, he's a great player, but he just cannot stay healthy. His whole career has just been plagued with injuries. Even when he was playing with was he with the Rams or the Chargers? He was with one of them.
Chargers.
Chargers, and he constantly, when he was out there, he was a beast. But more times than not, you just could not depend on his availability.
Yeah, once you start pushing 30 for a running back, it's just hard, man. First of all, they're going to get hurt. It's not if
But
they're going to get hurt, it's a matter of how badly. Um, and once they are hurt, the recovery is just a whole lot more slower. So,
mhm.
yeah, he's got an Achilles for his position. It could be career threatening,
Yeah,
especially his age.
because with Achilles, they come back. That year is like nothing, and then maybe the following year is when it kind of gets back. But to your point, that's good on the uh, smaller side of 30. When you get to that other side of 30, that snapback isn't guaranteed that following season.
No way. Especially for his position where you're running and cutting and doing all this
Mhm,
lateral work.
And
And
you got to be able to trust that
you
those
got to be
legs.
able to trust it. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One last stat that I noticed too that was interesting in this Washington game: 3.5 yards per play for the Commanders. That just
Yeah. That's what I was about to say, too. It's not only that Green Bay defensive front, their secondary is playing lights out right now.
absolutely.
Um, so, yeah, they're a force. I had them underestimated because I was worried about, the wide receiver position, but
Yeah.
seem to be doing just fine. That defense is just no joke.
Yeah, no doubt. He Jordan Love, that is, made sure he found 7 different receivers. Romeo Dobbs came to life with a nice touchdown catch. Tucker Kraft, the tight end, was just beasting out there, 6 receptions for a buck 24. He was their leading receiver by over 80 yards over Wicks. So definitely a great target. He was catching, but it was his yards after the catch that made him even more valuable as he was breaking the initial tackle, getting down the field before somebody could finally stop him. But he was just a force all night. So
Yeah, that defense is just really impressive. You saw what they did to Detroit in week
yes,
one. And then, yesterday Detroit explodes,
I,
40 some points. So
I, yes.
look at that Packer defense, and they answered a lot of questions with that one.
Mhm. We knew the NFC North was going to be one of the strongest divisions, but I think, truth be told, we kind of had it reversed. We had it Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota, or Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay. And
Yeah.
right now, it's Detroit and Green Bay heads above. I'm wondering now a little bit about Minnesota after watching them over the last 2 weeks. Either Sam Darnold was really just in command of that offense, or JJ McCarthy's just kind of got to get, um, you know, more and more comfortable under center and running that offense. But Sam Darnold kind of came in there, and it just goes to show you that it just isn't always going to be a plug and play with certain things like that.
Um, and the one thing that we talked about a few weeks ago, in the preseason when we was leading up to week one, was
Mhm.
just the fact that they don't have 4 preseason games anymore to get
Yep.
ready. They got a very limited time now to get ready, and you put in a quarterback that's, for all intents and purposes, this is his rookie season. He spent the
Mhm.
whole year last year on injured reserve.
Yep.
So to not get too much time in the preseason and then be thrown out there for his first start,
Mhm.
just ain't going too well for him. It ain't going too well. maybe he gets up to speed about week 5 or so, along with a whole lot of these other offenses, which are struggling. Some of them.
Well, and now, unfortunately, they're going to be without his services for about 2 to 3 weeks because he got hurt. He has a high ankle sprain.
I saw that. Yep. So I don't know who the backup is for them, but
Carson Wentz.
who's that?
Carson Wentz.
Oh no. Oh, no.
Well, you don't see Wentz to Jefferson hookups?
Woo, man. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
It's funny how an injury can change the outlook of a team's seasons just 2 weeks in.
Man, what
All
do
this
I always
optimism that
talk
the
about?
Vikings
What
had.
do I always talk about having a good backup quarterback.
Yeah. Yep.
We're already just 2 weeks in, and Justin Fields might be out because he's in concussion protocol. Joe Burrow is going to be out with turf toe. He's going to have surgery. So now Jake Browning's going to have to come in.
Again.
Carson Wentz is going to have to come in for JJ McCarthy. Jaden Daniels is hurt right now, and they don't know if he's going to be available the next game. That's kind of a wait and see. So already right there's 4 quarterbacks that are on the mend in just week 2.
Yeah. Yeah. You might
So
have seen
having
my
that
post that I
backup
put out.
guy is, huh?
You might have seen my post I put out in the water cooler today, just stating about the Bengals offensive line, about the talk about they're going to get Burrow killed. I mean, that just might be an accurate statement, man. I mean, good Lord.
For real.
Every single season, this guy gets beat the hell up. And here we are again.
Yep.
And he's on IR again, missing multiple weeks again, largely in part due to his offensive line that just cannot protect him. No matter what schemes they have, no matter who they draft, they just cannot provide any protection for this guy.
That's a damn shame because this dude right here is that transcendent, that force multiplier for a team. And they just keep crapping away years off of his career by not putting the things around him that he needs. Now, I'm going to get some people that are going to probably come back to me and say, well, Brian, it was Burrow who sat there and said, I need T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. When conventional wisdom was, hey, you can probably keep one, but probably not both, so that you can make sure that you shore up some other things. And if you don't do that, then you're going to have to make, lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to hear that. I already know that's going to be the counter to that is he can't have everything at every position. Because once you start paying 2 receivers over $30 million each, that is going to eat into what you're able to do.
Yep.
There's some validity to it.
I do agree with that, but at the same time, whoever their GM is has to realize, yes, it's part of their responsibility to make Joe Burrow happy. They don't necessarily have to do what Joe Burrow says to do.
Exactly.
Especially if they have the intellect to know that he's going to need some protection on his blind side.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. At the end of the day, you got to protect the player from himself and be like,
Yep.
Joe, while I know you want to have all these shiny objects out there, at the end of the day, we need to protect our highest investment, which is you.
Exactly.
None of those other pieces make sense if we have to rely on Jake Browning to find T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. This only works if you're the guy behind center. But if we can't protect you, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Justin Jefferson doesn't find that out by having Carson Wentz. Hopefully Carson Wentz can find him. I was more than impressed with a retread in San Francisco by the name of Mac Jones, who I was skeptical about how he was going to perform, even though with the 49ers playing the Saints. Now, I understand that the Saints got a Spencer Rattler of it all themselves, but how was Mac Jones really going to be able to step up? And he played extremely well. So again, whether it's Mac Jones, whether it's Sam Darnold being backups in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan seems to have a way of getting the most out of his quarterbacks, regardless of the back name on the back of those jerseys.
Yeah. Yeah. San Francisco's still looking tough. I kind of thought they would be. I thought that defense would be back. It seems to be. But again, we're still just 2 weeks in.
But but if I told
Defensive.
you Mac Jones was going to go 26 of 39, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks.
Yeah. I mean, sounds like a Purdy line to me.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's the thing that was funny was it was almost as if Purdy, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn. So again, and from what I understood, Kyle Shanahan even liked Mac Jones when he came out of Alabama, but they went ahead and got Trey Lance instead.
Yeah.
But so now he has the guy that he had coveted so many years ago, and he puts the guy in under a short week of finding out that he was going to be the starter, and he puts up a very good game. He gets the ball out quickly. He gets it on time to the receivers and let them do a lot of the work getting the ball downfield, and they don't miss a beat. Now, do they prefer to have Purdy back in? Absolutely. But did Mac Jones come in and be serviceable and not put them in a position to lose the game? Absolutely, he did.
Yeah, he sure did.
That's all you can ask.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So that was a good game. So 49ers over the Saints, 26 to 21. Of course, that puts New Orleans with another loss. And it wasn't that Rattler played a bad game. He was 25 to 34, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. It's just that defense of the Saints just is old and it's just not what it used to be.
Yeah. I think it's funny because before the season started, everybody was kind of saying, "Oh yeah, they're gonna tank for Manning, tank for Manning." I think they might have had a change of plans based on how Manning's been playing in Texas.
Yeah, like
Ooh,
you know what? See,
out.
that's where a lot of times you got to really, really watch what you're saying because yeah, everybody's talking about tanking for Arch, and it's like you start seeing Arch under some bigger, brighter lights, and it's like, are we though? Maybe not. Maybe we need to rethink that. All right, Rand.
Yeah,
I don't want to ruin your groove, but I know you're gonna want to go ahead and get this over with. I was absolutely shocked by what I saw at Acrisure Stadium yesterday.
yeah, man.
I'm
I was
sorry.
shocked too. I did not think that the Seattle defense
Mhm.
is as good as the Seattle defense is, for one. And to your credit as well, Sam Darnold still looks pretty good, even with the change of scenery. Now, he
Mhm.
did throw
Two,
maybe one or two picks yesterday. I think it was two.
two. Yep.
One, I can't blame him for it. The ball got tipped up in the air and we just got
Mhm.
it. But
Mhm.
he was very sharp on third down.
Mhm.
He was cool, calm, collected on the road in a rough environment.
Yeah.
Um, but I do give him credit. But the bigger picture with my boys right now is just we, for whatever reason, cannot stop the run. And we're just not playing still football.
Why
We
is
have the highest paid defense in the NFL,
Mhm.
and we have given up what did I see the other day? I think it's 28 points or more, 7 of the last 8 ball games.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, especially when you say Steelers
Right.
behind that.
Because you think
Um,
instantly low scoring games, a lot of running,
Stop the
opportunistic
run.
passing, stopping the run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're just getting gashed straight up the middle, and it's
Mhm.
just unheard of as far as Steeler ball, man. I don't know what changes with that. I do
But
know that
that's
we
what I'm
are
saying.
expecting
What's
our
going
number
on?
one draft
Because
pick.
because the runs that they were running, I didn't see anything really dynamic with their runs, like any kind of end rounds or anything
No, right up
exotic.
the middle.
It was just straight up the middle gashings.
Right up the middle, mano y mano. There was a third down in one situation where we got pushed back 2 to 3 yards.
Jesus.
Um, so right now we're just struggling, and I know that we have injuries along the defensive front. And I know a lot of guys got banged up and went out the game last night. Not last night, but yesterday. There was a
Mhm.
whole lot of backups in there, but backups get paid to stop people too. Um, and the backups that are on our defense are fully capable of maybe even starting for some other teams.
Mhm.
Um, so they got to fix that, and I don't know how they're going to fix that. They invested a hell of a lot this offseason in stopping the pass with the addition of Patrick, Ramsey and some
Mhm.
others. But they are really, really going to have to see what's going on up front and get in the trenches and do some dirty work. Because if they keep getting gashed like this, especially just right up the middle, ain't nothing elaborate like you were saying. No end arounds, no flea flickers, no trick plays. No, these teams are just lining up and punching us in the mouth, and
Right.
that just ain't still the ball, man.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not
And you
at
think,
all.
and when you think about Steeler ball too, you think about the physicality. You think about
Physicality.
hard tackling. Like you gonna know that you played the Steelers. Like when the day after you play the Steelers, you get out that bed that first time, you gonna know you played the Steelers.
You should know, but we're just falling away from that. Um,
Yeah,
I heard.
to your point, he only rushed for 72 yards. Uh,
Yep.
the Seahawks had 117.
Yeah. Yep. And 117 is not crazy bad, but when you're getting all of that straight up the middle, I mean, it just sets up Darnold to be very comfortable in the pocket to do other things with. Because now you got to respect the run, and that just falls right in play with him being able to find his receivers and extend those third downs, and that's what was happening like all day yesterday. Um, and I do blame some of it on coaching too. We got our draft pick Caleb Johnson back there um, recovering kickoffs.
Mm.
Even in the preseason, I was wondering why he had that job. Yesterday, with the game close, 17-14 Seattle, he made a critical error that changed the course of that entire game. Seattle kicks off. They're up 17-14. The ball bounces. It goes over Caleb Johnson's head. He reaches up to grab it. It goes through his hands and rolls dead in the end zone. He starts walking off the damn field because he thinks it's college rules. Seattle runs straight
Yeah,
back there, dives on the ball, and gets a free touchdown.
yeah,
You cannot do that. All of a sudden, a 17-14 game, which we're still in, um, we're getting ready to get the ball and go downfield to maybe tie it or maybe take the lead. Now that 17-14 is a 24-14, and now it's Aaron Rodgers time and elimination of the run game. So you just can't make errors like that. Um, I'm wondering why they had a rookie in that position in the first place, which all goes back to what I was saying last year. Tomlin is just not the same Tomlin. And if it was me, I hear some whispers already about, well, maybe this is not the best fit. Maybe he goes elsewhere. Man, I was saying that 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll see how they end up getting bouncing back from this. If this is just going to be a hiccup, or are they going to be able to fix this running game? And as far as number one, being able to run better, but number two, being able to stop the run. Because even if you're a good running team, if you can't stop the run, then that's just going to make up even more opportunities for the pass, play action, and everything like that. Because now you have to spend a whole lot more to look at the run, and then you end up getting sucked into a play action, and they get thrown over the top.
Exactly, man. And they're not going to get no breaks with this upcoming game. They are playing New England in New England. You know what New England is going to do. They are going
And
to run
you got
the
a
ball.
quarterback that is elusive and likes to run. And if your front four can't make him uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah, and a quarterback that relies on that play action and the
Mhm.
two tight end sets. So yeah, we're gonna see a mouthful right up the trenches, especially with Vrabel watching film all week. seeing what Seattle did to us.
Yes,
It's going
exactly.
to do the same thing. It's going to do the same thing.
Mhm.
So better be ready to stop it because it's not going to change.
That's right. That's right. We also, though, speaking of those Patriots, they actually went to Miami, played the Dolphins. It looked like they were running away with it for a while, and then Miami kind of woke up. Tua started to kind of look like Tua of old a little bit, getting the ball out. He ended up with 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. You saw the reemergence of Tyreek Hill getting over 100 yards, 6 receptions for a buck 09. And the Dolphins almost came back and made a game of it. But at the end, New England pulled through 33-27. Drake May again, no picks, 2 touchdowns, 230 yards passing. Um, but it still relied a lot on him being able to throw the ball, but also run. He had 10 carries for 31 yards. So while that's only 3.1 yards a carry, it's still enough to keep those sticks moving a lot of the times too, especially when you think you got him bottled up and things like that, and he squirts out and he gets a couple yards and everything like that. He ran for a touchdown. So that
How
is
many
very much this game.
how many carries has Stevenson had? And I'm imagining Stevenson.
So that's funny you say that. Ramondre had 11 carries.
And I'm assuming he probably caught a lot out the backfield too.
He had 5 receptions for 88. So all-purpose yards, he had 142 yards, if my math is right, which is crazy because the receiving yards is what was killing people. 5 for 88 is 17.6 catch.
Yeah, we as in the Steelers are gonna see a mouthful of that this upcoming week.
Oh yeah, especially if he checks it down to him. Or I even saw him sometimes line up even in slot and catch him that way too. But a lot of his damage was done from the backfield, receiving and rushing.
Yep, using them short passes as an extension of the run game.
Exactly. Big time, big time. Stephon Diggs didn't do as much damage. They're still working him back into more workload every single week. Only 4 catches, 32 yards. But that is more so by design because he's coming back off that injury and everything like that. So Stevenson right now, if he's on your fantasy team, I would continue to play him even this week coming against the Steelers because they have not shown the ability, number one, to stop the run or stop those intermediate passes for turning into longer passes right now. So
Yep.
I would definitely play him. So, Rand, with that said, with the Dolphins, I've been floating this idea to people. I said, what if Omar Khan just decides, you know what, Mike McDaniel, I don't ever understand what the hell it is you're saying anyway, because he just talks. I've tried to listen to this dude. They say he's a boy genius. I don't know because I don't know what the hell he's talking about. When I listen to him, he talks gibberish when I hear him talk. Sounds like he's hot. But would it be crazy to think that maybe the Dolphins Omar Khan sits there and says, you know what? We've had enough. We'd like to see you go. And make a call to Chapel Hill and say, Bill, I know you want that record. Come on down here. Oh, you have a buyout clause with Carolina? Not anymore. Is that just me being wishful?
Belichick in Pittsburgh.
No, Belichick in Miami.
Oh, you said Omar Khan. That's our GM.
Yeah, not Omar Khan. Yeah, you're right. That's Pittsburgh. The other Khan guy down in Miami. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In Miami, no, that ain't wishful thinking at all. I mean, weather's nice.
And hey, it's conducive for 24-year-old girlfriends, I hear.
You got that right. It's Miami. Yeah, very attractive. Very attractive.
I just think that he does not have his locker room because he's not that type of coach. And I think that's going to continue to catch up with them where they almost came back, but they were in such a hole. And a lot of that to me is just, are these guys all in for you or not?
It really doesn't appear as if.
No, not at all. I give them credit for coming back, but I also put some of it on New England for letting up off the gas a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they thought they had it in the bag, and then they said, oh, we thought this mug was dead. It started breathing again. you saw their stomach. Oh shit, we're still alive. So then they kind of picked it back up at the end. But yeah, I don't see it. And I honestly think that because of the way that Bill Belichick's contract is, that somebody would have to buy him out. I don't see another college team doing that. But for an NFL owner, I don't think that buyout would be a deal breaker if they really felt like Bill Belichick could be somebody to come in and change that culture. If they want to have a chance in the in the AFC East, how much further into the season are you willing to let this crap go on before you say, you know what, this was an issue at the end of last season. This has been an issue through the off season and it's bleeding into now the regular season. How long
Yeah.
do you let this go?
Yeah, and if that was an opportunity presented towards Bill, say for instance tonight, I think he's signing a contract tomorrow morning,
I agree.
um,
As
because
it should.
he hates the Patriots. He feels wronged by the Patriots,
Oh, and to be
and
back
he
in that
would
division.
be back in that division, sticking it to them or getting the opportunity to stick it to them twice a year. Oh yeah, he would take it in a heartbeat, and
Right.
his girlfriend would sign
Exactly.
off on it. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my
Let me
gosh.
see. Chapel Hill, Miami, Chapel Hill, Miami. Yeah.
I bet this has been running through my mind for like the last 2 weeks. I'm like, especially after after I sent you that text about McDaniel being fired. That was the first thing that popped in my mind because the question always is, if you're gonna let somebody go, who you gonna replace them with?
Yeah.
And I was like, and if you don't really have a good replacement, sometimes people just say, well, just keep the devil you know, which that isn't always the answer either. But because we kind of saw how Las Vegas did that when they got rid of their coach, and then they had my man in there for a while, and they rallied behind him. So sometimes you can get that spark even from an interim guy that everybody loves, Antonio Pierce. They rallied behind him for the first while. Was he the long term answer? No, but did it help them that rest of that season? Absolutely. They played lights out. They played over
Mhm.
their heads, really, in a lot of ways. Could this be a jolt that Miami needs, or do they even need to look even further and say, you know what? Our best asset right now is Tyreek Hill. Let's trade him while he just had 100-yard game, and it looks like he's still got some tread on the tires.
They need to do something to shake it up because right now, I mean, it's just not working. And I think it's obvious to a lot of people on the outside looking in that it's not working.
And I always wonder about stuff like that. When is it so much that the organizations are just so close that they can't see it, or they can see it, but they don't want to acknowledge it? Now, I think it could be a little bit of both because I wouldn't want to acknowledge that Tyreek is a problem because then when you're trying to trade him, you lose your leverage because they're
Exactly.
like, well, wait a minute, if he's damaged goods, now you can't bargain for as much. Oh, you wanted a number one for him. No, we'll give you a 3 and a 6
Hmm.
and take him off your hands,
Yep.
because then we're going to also have to extend him or offer him a new contract, something like that. So we'll give you a 3 and a 6 or a conditional 6 that might be able to move up to a 5th depending on his performance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They can throw some stuff in there like that. Me being the a fake GM that I am, trying to make some deals. All right, well, let's move on into we had the Jags and the Saints. Oh, it's Jags and Saints. Jags and the Bengals. Of course, I mentioned earlier Joe Burrow gets hurt in this game. The Jaguars actually make a game of it. They actually had the lead. It took Jake Browning to get them to come back and win it at the end by 4 points over the Jaguars. As it looked like they may do something. Trevor Lawrence still had an underwhelming game. 24 42, 271, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 2 dumbass picks. One of them was in the end zone, right into the hands of the damn defender. He got lured into that, but I could see it coming. I'm like, oh God, he's not to really do it, and he did it. Jake Browning, of course, he's the backup. 3 picks, 2 touchdowns, but coming in middle of the game, I get it. He's you know he ain't warmed up. He didn't know he was a starter. He didn't have the whole week to prepare like Trevor Lawrence did. And again, Trevor Lawrence is the one that is not playing up to the contract that he signed with these Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. Sunshine, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to get on it. You're gonna
Well,
find your way out of
whatever
Jacksonville.
he's doing is he ain't doing it on the field. He doing it off the field, whatever the hell it is he's doing. And whatever it is he's doing off the field isn't helping him on the field.
Facts.
So he need to figure that out. Talking about figuring something out. For the Lions, all you really need and I think I called it this, your get right game is to schedule the Bears.
Yo, yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, after the first half, it was 21 all. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. It was 28-14. After the first quarter, it was 14-7. And I'm like, okay, this ain't bad. I kept seeing the Lions have stalled drives and stuff like that. And I was like, is that Bears defense really that good?
No.
I stepped away. And because my work league, I started Jared Goff. I keep getting these damn updates on my phone. Jared Goff, touchdown. And it kept going off. And I said, well, damn, it keeps sending me the same message. And I looked and I realized, oh, he done threw 5 touchdowns. That's why.
Yeah.
Grant, this dude threw 28 times and only missed 5.
Yeah. I started him in my league, the league that we're in. So, I'm sitting here cheering and all that. But then I look, my opponent has Amar St. Brown.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That just
nullifies
it.
Can't win. Just can't win, man.
Because he has 3 touchdowns, $115 yards. So, yeah, he benefited from Jared Goff a lot.
Especially, with those points per reception. So he can earn even more than the quarterback. So it's
exactly.
What do you do? I scored 148 points, and it's not going to be enough to win.
Damn. Wow. In that league, that should be on most times. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think I'm going to max out at $1.19 myself. And I might win if Brock Bowers plays tonight, which I was hoping to get an update before the 7:00 game. Because if he wasn't, then I was going to put in one of the tight ends from the 7:00 game. So I know they have to release the injured list an hour and a half before the game, but I thought with this being a Monday night game, maybe we would have the release for the 10:00 game earlier too, but it wasn't released by then. So he's just listed as questionable right now. So if he doesn't play, I'm screwed. If he does play and has a decent game, then I'll go 2-0. So we'll see.
Yeah,
that's how that goes. But speaking of the real field, Jared Goff showed his ass. Caleb Williams, you can tell he's making steps, but not fast enough. It's just going to be this year. They're probably another year out from being a really decent team, and they're just going to continue to take their bumps and bruises. But for the Lions, after their showing against the Packers, this was a game to be able to see how they responded to a game like that. And of course, having the Bears as your opponent does make it better, but they could have easily just sat there and fell into a trance with the Bears. Hey, they're the Bears. We don't have to sit there and go out and, overperform, and we'll still beat them. And that's true. Probably, you beat them by 31 points. You didn't need all 31 to beat them. But you did beat them into submission because they only scored 7 points after halftime. And the Lions scored 24. So they got outscored 24-7 in the second half.
Is Caleb hurt?
His feelings are.
That game? Oh, I thought I heard something about he left that game with injury.
He did leave because Badgett came in for a few plays too. I don't know how what the extent of his injuries are, but Badgett did throw 3 passes and hit 2 of them.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I heard somewhere that Caleb might miss some time. So again, here we are with you got to make sure that backup situation is secure.
Exactly. Absolutely. So you got the Bears reel in a little bit. The Lions look like they might be back to crushing kneecaps and all that kind of stuff. So all is right with them for right now. The Ravens played the Brownies, or the Brown Stains as we call them. To go to 0-2, Joe Flacco, 25 of 45. Y'all got that old man throwing 45 times. That's crazy. One touchdown, one pick. But then you have Action Jackson, 19 of 29, 225. And oh, by the way, 4 touchdowns and no picks.
The Ravens, I mean, we both called it at the beginning of the year. They're just going to be hard
Yeah.
to deal with. They are going to be hard to deal with.
Absolute hell.
Yep.
225, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Then and then he only ran twice for 13 yards. Derrick Henry didn't do a lot of running either. Then they still put up 41 points. Henry only had 11 carries for 23 yards. But it was mostly the passing game. You had, Say Flowers, 75 yards. D Hop, 2 receptions for 64, so 32 per from D Hop. Just crazy stuff all over the place. So a lot of contributions from the Ravens, being able to just have their way with the way that the Browns were playing. They really never got into a rhythm. A lot of 3 and outs and things like that. Baltimore. The only thing that scares me about Baltimore is they seem to be more of a second half team. They're starting slow, but then something sparks at halftime, and then they just go the hell off. I mean, at halftime it was 10-3.
Yeah.
They scored 31 points in the second half. That's great.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The Browns are just a mess right now.
So when you look at the 41 points, you're like, man, they put up a lot of points. 31 of them came after halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So my only concern with that, Rand, is against some of the better teams, you may not be able to do that because it's really going to rely on you having to come back and play from behind. And it's not that they don't have the ability to do that, but that's a lot more pressure. That's when mistakes can happen more. So you have to be careful with that. And sometimes being able to start off fast is preferable so you don't put yourself in those positions. You can do that against the Cleveland Browns. Are you going to be able to do that against the Detroit Lions? Are you going to be able to do that against the Chargers? Are you going to be able to do that, against one of those high-power offenses out there?
Yeah.
So that's my only concern I have right now against with the Ravens. But when they're 1-1, so they're still in good shape right now as well.
What I do like about the Ravens is just the fact that they are kind of like Detroit. They could beat you through the air, but they could also beat you on the ground.
Yes.
And when you are two-dimensional like that on offense, it makes it hard for the opposing team.
It does because it's hard to sit there and uh, back them against any corner because they can say, okay, you're going to take away the run game. Well, we'll beat you with the pass. Again, they scored 41 points, and it wasn't on the back of King Henry just sitting there wearing you out like a 12-round fighter, body blow after body blow till he starts breaking off big runs on you and stuff like that. That never materialized. So from Cleveland's standpoint, yeah, you stuffed the running game and you still lost. They still put 41 points up on you.
Still wasn't even close.
That's demoralizing.
Yep. And the thing about it in week 1 is Baltimore did win with the run game. King Henry ran all over him. So they got the ability to kind of switch it up from week to week, which makes them really, really dangerous.
Mm-hmm. So, Rand, the other thing too is that it's only week 2 in the NFL, but there are a handful of teams that are 0-2. And you know good and well that this stat always comes out every year about teams that start out 0-2 and their ability to make the playoffs. Since 2020, 42 teams have started 0-2. Only 5 have made the playoffs.
Yeah, it just makes it extremely hard. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a hole to climb up out of, but I mean, it really is, man. You translate it to, I'm gonna do some quick math here. Translate it to basketball, the NBA. It's kind of the equivalent of starting 0-7 in the NBA. Baseball, the equivalent of starting maybe 0-12 in baseball. So you look at it in that way, you just see how detrimental it is to go 0-2 when you only got 17 games. So,
well, with that said, these are the 0-2 teams. Which ones do you think still have a chance for the playoffs? The
all
Jets,
right.
the Jets,
Nope.
the Dolphins,
Nope.
The Chiefs,
Maybe.
the Browns,
Hell no.
and the Titans. Those are the only. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. That's in the AFC because I was about to say, wait a minute, Carolina ain't on this list. Okay. The Titans are 0-2. That's all the AFC. Then when you get to the NFC, you've got the Giants 0-2. You've got the Bears 0-2. Then you've got the Saints 0-2. And of course, you got them 0-2.
No shot for any 0-2 team in the South. I'm not even gonna mention their names. Um,
And the Bears are done too, right?
they're done too. Maybe the Giants. So I'm gonna say Giants in the NFC, Chiefs in the AFC.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Those are the ones I agree. Those are the only ones I kind of even give a snowball's chance in hell. With it. The other ones, hey, it was fun. Get your party gifts on the way out. Please do not wait till January. There's no point.
And Dallas, you were a few seconds from being 0-2. I'm gonna put you right in that category.
I remember on Facebook, my friend Joe that came out to Braswell's to see you
Yeah.
play had posted as your favorite team here in Charlotte started playing. And with the first pick of the 2026 draft, the Carolina Panthers select
South Carolina quarterback.
put in your favorite quarterback. Just
Yeah.
like, bruh.
Yes.
Oh God, I said yes. Because at that point, dude had already fumbled for a touchdown and threw that damn pick. And I was like,
So we're going. Let's just go ahead and start talking about him, man.
yeah.
People want to give Bryce. It really frustrates me. It really frustrates me because I hear all this local media, and they give this kid every excuse under the sun, and I just honestly believe it's because of his nice personality.
It is.
That they do that. I think that if it was a CJ Stroud, they would be all over him. I think if it was a Trevor Lawrence that was doing that, they would be stoning him to death today. But because it's Bryce,
he couldn't even go to his house. He'd have to be in witness protection.
yeah, because it's Bryce. Bryce gets a pass because he's nice, meek, and well spoken and quiet and fragile.
He needs to be protected.
Yeah, he needs to be protected.
All $39 million of him.
Mm-hmm. But I know he passed for 300 yards, and people want to look at that and say, yeah, he did another 300-yard game. But how much of that was in absolute garbage time when the defense was in prevent defense?
Exactly.
And when it was a game again, i.e., oh shit, they got the onside kick. We got to play defense again.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce was 0 of 6 and looked like another panic quarterback because he had what I was been saying all along and what I went on a tangent about last week. He was playing under what? Pressure. Mm-hmm. This dude is no good under pressure, man. He's no good under pressure.
He needs to play every game like they're already down 24-0.
Yeah. Or
they need to make sure that when he's under center, well, I was gonna make a bad joke. I was gonna say, well, even if he's under center, he can't see the scoreboard. But but they need to just turn it off in case he gets a glance of it and go, what's the score? Don't even worry about it. We down 4 touchdowns. Because because that's the only time. Because then if he thinks, okay, well, we have no shot of winning, then he seems to play better.
Yeah, or making the playoffs. When Carolina gets to their typical 2-7, 2-8, you're going to start seeing some improved play out of Bryce because other teams are not going to give a damn about him, for one, and he ain't playing under what am I going to say? Pressure.
Mm-hmm.
He can't. I've never seen it. And first time.
Show me how you play when it matters.
Right. First time he's hit, cost the ball up. We're down 7-0.
I want to say he does it every time he gets hit, but most of the time, this dude cannot take a sack without fumbling the damn ball.
I just want to look up that stat How many games has Bryce played as a starter in the NFL, and then see how many fumbles? Because I would be, I would make a guess that it would be half of the games that he's played, he's fumbled. Um, it's crazy, man. Um, and Carolina cannot survive like that. You're down 20 something to 3 before your quarterback can start getting to work. It's not going to happen. He's not a comeback quarterback. Um, you're taking the run game out of the equation when you get down that big, and Carolina is built on being able to establish the run because they don't have a quarterback that could single-handedly go out there and win, man. So it's going to be another long season, but I saw it coming. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Well, I was trying to use AI when you were saying all that to see what it said. It brought up some examples, but it didn't give me a total. But it's a
Yeah,
few examples.
yeah, that's a stat that's going to be kind of hard to find because the first thing that's going to pop up is lost fumbles. But some of them he's
It
fumbled and
brought
actually
so
gotten
it's
back.
it's funny. It's funny. It's updated too because the first one it says is week 2, 2025 versus Arizona Cardinals. Young was sacked and fumbled on the third play of the game, which was returned for a touchdown. He was sacked again on the final drive, ending the comeback attempt. Week 1 of 2025 versus Jacksonville, he was sacked by Dwayne Smoot and fumbled. 2024 against the Cowboys, he was strip sacked by Micah Parsons and also fumbled on another sack by Osa Zua. I mean, this is literally just listing them out. Damn,
Yeah,
these
just
just
fumble,
are
fumble,
few.
fumble, fumble, fumble. Yep, yep. And we ain't even talking about the interceptions. It's I just don't understand. I do understand. It's because he's so nice. So I'll change my wording. But nice don't win football games.
No, it doesn't. Oh Jesus. Okay, it expanded the list when I hit yes. Okay, that's just crazy. I love AI because you just ask it any question and it just starts to figure it out for you, and I'm just like, okay, this is crazy. Um, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, no, that's absolutely crazy that Bryce has. Every time he gets hit, he just cannot protect the ball, and that's just. I mean, it doesn't matter how good of a quarterback you are. Ball security, you can have a strong arm, you can be accurate, but if you can't protect the ball, then that is just sin number one. That I mean, you got to be able to get over that.
You got to be able to protect the
Um,
ball, man.
The Eagles and the Chiefs ran. I'm done with these Panthers. The Eagles and the Chiefs played, and we thought we were going to see a really high scoring game, or at least I was thinking maybe we would, and it ended up being 20-17. Neither team looked exceptionally well. Maybe it's what they did to each other. Um, People are still going to be critical of Jalen Hurts. He goes 15 to 22 for 101 yards, very Bryce Young like as far as that. Saquon, 22 carries, 88 yards and a touchdown. Mahomes did not look Mahomes like, only 187 yards in the game, one touchdown, one pick. But he was their damn leading rusher because every time I looked up and saw Patrick Mahomes, he was breaking tackles and getting down the field and leaning in with his off shoulder to absorb the hits.
Yeah, but Philly has their number, man.
They do.
They
They're
really do.
0-3 the last 3 games, including the Super Bowl against them. So it is still something that Philly's doing to them. Um, but they outgained Philly in yards. They more than outgained them in passing yards. They were basically the same in rushing yards, 122 to 121. Um, time of possession, Philly only had the ball 5 minutes more. Philly didn't throw any interceptions, no fumbles lost, very low penalty yards. Both had 48 and 45 respectfully as accepted penalties. Both had 2 sacks on the quarterback. Both ran the same amount of plays. One had 58, one had 57. It was a pretty much an even game all the way down. Philly had 16 first downs. Kansas City had 17.
Wow.
You
Yep.
know, third down efficiency was the same. Fourth down efficiency was about the same. Everything was damn near the same.
Yeah, they just can't deal with that Philly physicality, man. That's my opinion of it.
Do you
Kansas City
give
has
you
one
give
guy.
you give any credence to some of the criticism again around the tush push that some of the times they were actually offsides when they ran it? The
I
centers were
haven't
already ahead.
I haven't even heard that, but I
Oh,
don't buy it because Philly's just so good at it.
they
I
ran it.
don't
They
think
ran it
that
7 times, and there were some video stills where it looked as if the center was already ahead or sticking out. Now, people got to understand though, when you do the tush push, not saying it's right or wrong. When you do it though, the center has two jobs. He already has two jobs anyway, but it becomes even crazier when you do a tush push. Um, he's got to get the ball out, and it's normally low because he's got to get it to him, snap it, and then immediately fall forward. Um, and yes, he may jump that count sometimes. I ain't gonna say he didn't. He probably did once or twice. Um, that's almost natural though, because as soon as you hike that, you got to go. To give because Jalen is holding the ball. He's the one that's going to either sneak under you or they're scheming a certain way to create a gap, a little crease for him to get through, and then everybody else comes behind him and powers him from behind. So, is it possible? Yeah, but they did it 7 times.
yeah.
Oh, Anthony, I'm sorry, I didn't see your question. He said, "Question: Is Joe Flacco playing for the Browns or the Ravens?" You need to stop. That man is 75 years old. He doing everything he can, Anthony. The problem is all the money in that Eagles offense, and you only score 13.
Give it some time, Anthony. They still in preseason.
I'm thinking the same thing too because I I still think that there's a AJ Brown of it all that they need to work out as far as making sure that he's getting more receptions. I did see Devontae Smith break loose for a couple of them, so that was reassuring that when Jalen needs to get the ball, he can. So Devontae had 4 receptions, 53 yards. That was a whole lot better than before. AJ had 5 receptions, so he got targeted more than he did in the first game, which was one. Five for
One, yeah.
27. So, and he found even with 101 yards, 7 different receivers. So it's not that he's afraid to throw the ball, but a lot of their game is that short game, taking what the defense is giving us, leaning, and then again being able. Hey, if we need to score a lot of points, don't get it twisted. We can, but we're doing enough to take what the defense is doing. They're playing mistake-free football. They're one of the few teams that has not had a turnover in their first 2 weeks.
I agree with that. I think that from what I've seen with the Eagles thus far, and I know it's only been 2 games,
Hmm.
but to me, they are cruise control right now. They ain't even stepped on the gas, and they got the ability to step on the gas. They're playing like Kansas City played for years. They have the talent. They can. I believe they can go out there and mow some teams down if they need to, but they haven't really needed to yet.
Exactly, exactly. So I think, and like you said, these are good warm-up games for them. I think they're going to be able to build on that and continue to get better and better and better and open up this offense even more when they need to be. Anthony says it's been 2 games, but Daniel Jones playing better than the whole Eagles offense. But this is what I will say to that, Anthony. It's not that I totally disagree with what you just said, but they beat the Broncos by 1 point. They needed Daniel Jones to
They
play like that.
needed that. The Broncos scored 28.
They needed all of that because Bo Nix had 3 touchdowns. He was 22 of 30. He wasn't missing too many passes. Daniel Jones, again, though, this is a Danny Dime stat. 23 of 34. So he had to throw 34 times. 316, a touchdown and no picks from
Yeah,
Danny
he's
Dime.
doing really well in Indy. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but
Not at
just
all.
back to what we were saying.
Yeah, not bad for a
Philly
safety.
has not had to do that. They've been out ahead of Dallas. They've been out ahead of Kansas City, and they just give it to Saquon, eat up the clock, and
Mhm.
chill.
Yeah. Danny threw for one. He ran for one. But Jonathan Taylor beat the hell out of Denver, and they barely won. They had to win with a walk-off field goal. He ran
Questionable.
5 times, questionable, 25 times for a buck 65.
Yeah.
He put a buck 65 on the Broncos, and they still almost lost. So you needed everything out of Daniel Jones just to get that damn win.
Man, yeah, if I was a Bronco fan, I would be furious today. Furious. You think you've got the game won off of a missed 60-yard field goal attempt, and then the refs get together and call some really, really touchy, questionable stuff about the center and props. Give him a 15-yard penalty, a do-over from 45. And of
Yep.
course he nails it at that
Yeah.
point. But yeah, if I was a Bronco fan, I'd be furious. You just got robbed of starting 2-0.
Well, we still got 2 more Monday night games tonight. We've got one that's actually in process. This is the 2-minute warning, actually. The Buccaneers are up 14-10 over the Texans. Give you guys a little head up on that. Rand, right now in this game, Baker Mayfield has already passed for 2 touchdowns, 12 of 15, 100 yards. CJ Stroud, 7 of 11, a buck 27 for 1 touchdown. And Ibuka for Tampa, I believe this is their rookie, has that touchdown.
Oh yeah, I was telling people about
One of those
Ibuka,
touchdowns.
Ohio State product, who I wanted in Pittsburgh, by the way, but that's whatever. I knew he was going to be doing his thing, whoever got him. And yes, he's already making immediate dividends for Tampa Bay.
He really is. I mean, is this Mike Evans' heir apparent, or even Chris Godwin's heir apparent?
Oh
It
yeah,
looks like
without a doubt, he'll be the number one after Evans. If Evans moves on within the next few years, yeah, he'll definitely be the number one. That kid is multi.
I think more and more is making Chris Godwin a lot more expendable because Chris Godwin always ends up hurt anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who you got for the rest of this game? You think the Bucs can hold on, or you think the Texans are going to give them something?
So I had the Texans before all of this started. I'm sitting here watching it now. It looks like Mayfield got a knee injury. I'm not sure how bad it is. I think he walked off on his own power, so I think he'll be back in the second half. But even regardless of all that, I had the Texans prior to any of that news.
Same. I did too. I'm gonna stick with that. And then at 10 o'clock, we got the Chargers at the Raiders. Who you got for that one?
LA is going to be on fire tonight. First primetime game in a while for them. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Chargers defense steps up and takes Vegas out at home.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Harbaugh and Carroll out there, doing that. So that'll be interesting. I've got the Chargers as well. The Dolphins play the Bills on Thursday night, Rand, in Buffalo. Bills Mafia, Dolphins, Mike McDaniel's last game.
That's what I was just thinking. It's probably a going away game for McDaniel.
Look, it's a Thursday game, so he'll have the whole weekend to pack your shit. You got 10 days, and whoever the interim coach is, that team will now have 10 days to prepare for game 4. So if you're going to do it now. I'm just saying, get him out Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill board, be on alert.
Bubba Cunningham, where you at?
Yeah. Belichick's son might be stepping up in that position like he has planned all along anyway. So.
All along, yep, just to hand it off. Some other notable games, we got Bengals, Vikings on Sunday. I have no idea about this game. I kind of want to just give it to the Vikings because they're at home. And Carson Wentz is probably going to whelm me better than Jake Browning does for the Bengals, only because Carson will have more weapons. And then as long as he plays within the constraints of the game, they should be able to ease that out.
I agree with you, man. Minnesota's defense has been really stepping up, only gave up 15 to an explosive Atlanta team. But it's just McCarthy could not do anything.
Right. If he had even given them just a little bit of offense, they would have won that game.
Yeah.
You got the Texans at the Jaguars. I see the Texans running all up in that. I just don't see the Jaguars. The Jaguars running game has gotten a little bit better, but I just think that the Texans are just going to be able to come in there and uh, run all over them. They don't do as good with mobile quarterbacks, I don't think. And I think that CJ, as long as he's able to move, manipulate the pocket, should be just fine with them.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
You got the Colts at the Titans. Next, I think Daniel Jones is going to have another great game against the Titans. Even though the Titans showed a little bit of flashes here and there, Cam Ward is just learning on the job. I think that Colts defense is going to make his life very uncomfortable. Probably get an interception and a handful of sacks as well.
Agree with that. I don't know a game where I will be picking Tennessee this year.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe Dallas. They play them. No, I'm just kidding. Even I won't do that. You got the Raiders traveling all the way over to DC to play the Commanders. Really depending on how Jaden Daniels' health is, but I would almost still, depending on Jaden Daniels, depending on what I see from Brock Bowers tonight, I'm almost inclined to go with the Raiders in that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope Jaden is okay because he's gonna make all the difference in the world if he is.
It really depends. If it's not Jaden, I'm going Raiders. If it is Jaden, I'm still leaning Raiders, but I could be talking to the Commanders. So we'll see. Here's one that's going to surprise you. Rams at Eagles.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think I called this one for NFC Championship if I remember.
Rams.
Rams at Eagles or Eagles at Rams?
Rams at Eagles.
Oh man, you calling for your boys to go down at home?
I ain't calling for it. I'm just, hey, I'm keeping it a buck. As soon as I saw this, I'm looking at where they're both are right now. Yeah, I think the Rams are utilizing their weapons a whole lot better. Between Kyron Williams and Corum at running back, you got Puka Nacua just making people look stupid out there. And you still got Devontae Adams. You still got Higbee. You still got a lot of weapons out there. And that defense is nothing to be played with. I think the Rams defense, for whatever reason, is so damn underrated that as much as I love my Eagles, I am not blindly going to predict they go 17-0. If this is a game that they could potentially lose and it not be a stinker, it's going to be the Rams. I got no problem with it. I got a problem.
Rams do have a lot of talent.
Cowboys would be mad if they played the Giants like the Cowboys played the Giants yesterday. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some issues. But if they lost to the Rams, I wouldn't see that as an early season loss. That when you see them again in the playoffs, you get some payback on them and let that be the motivation. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. Lose to them now. Lose to them now so you don't lose to them in the playoffs.
I did think the Rams are going to have a very good year this year. So I guess it starts right here. Yep.
Yeah, I'm for it. Falcons and the Panthers. Let's play.
Next.
Steelers at the Patriots. Where you going with that one?
Man, look. So 24 hours ago, I would have said Steelers easily. But after what I saw yesterday, I just feel like this is going to be a whole lot closer than a lot of people think. I'm going to go Steelers, but barely, and I'm not even confident in it.
Yeah, I'm because my heart's not in it. I'll just say it's probably going to be the Patriots because they're at home and they've got some pretty good weapons, and Vrabel's going to have that defense able to stop. If it turns into a one-dimensional game where you're going to have to rely on Aaron Rodgers, that is not a good recipe. He had 2 interceptions in this last game, and this is from a guy that one of his best attributes is he does not turn the ball over at all. I saw him go one whole season with 4 picks. He had 2 yesterday. And it's because he was trying to, I won't say play hero ball, but he knew the assignment was going to be, if we got a chance of winning this game, it's going to come from my arm because we ain't running worth a damn. And I get that. But at 42 years old, that cannot be the recipe for the success of the Pittsburgh. It never has been. Anytime you're expecting your quarterback to bail you out of games, you stepped away from being a Pittsburgh Steeler.
They are going to have to find a way to start running the ball. And I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith in Arthur Smith. This is kind of getting old.
Yeah, big time. I agree. Totally agree. You got the Packers at the Brown Stains. God almighty. I know y'all got Myles Garrett for the Brownies, but they got Michael Parsons. And poor Joe Flacco is going to see him a lot.
They will be calling for Dylan Gabriel about the second quarter. Actually, they're going to be calling for Shador, but they're going to
right,
get
because they ain't going to want to hurt their little golden boy. Because if Michael
No.
Parsons see Dylan Gabriel's little small ass back there, he going to light him up anyway. So, yeah. Go ahead and bring in Dylan. That just gets Shador more playing time because he gonna be out. You got the Jets at the Bucks next Sunday. I got so much faith in the Bucks in this game as long as Baker is okay. And the Jets will finally find their way, but we don't even know if Fields is going to be on the field because he's got to go through concussion protocol, clear all of that. But that also means that he's not going to have a whole lot of practices to prepare, even if he does clear it by the end of the week. So he may be a little rusty, and that's not going to bode well for the Bucks at home being able to do that.
Yeah, Baker's back out there. He appears to be fine. No limping or anything like that. He finished out the half. So this game coming up with the Jets going into Tampa is the equivalent of a sacrificial lamb being led to the slaughter.
I would agree with that. You've got the Broncos at the Chargers. Now, this is a 4:00 game. This is definitely going to be more tantalizing, I think, than the Sunday night game of the Chiefs and the Giants. I wish they could flex that because Broncos and Chargers, to me, that's the game of the week when I'm looking at this outside of the Monday night game. The Monday night game is going to be really badass. But for a Sunday night game, I would rather see the Broncos and the Chargers instead of the Chiefs and the Giants.
Yeah, man. Broncos Chargers are two very, very, very evenly matched teams right now. I don't even know. That's a coin flip game.
I bet you the line on this game is probably 3 for the Chargers. I was trying to see if there was a line already. I don't see one. But if I had to guess what the line, and it's probably going to be, it's a toss-up. They normally give the 3 points to the home team, which means it's a toss-up. I'm just going to give it to the Chargers, basically because they're the home team. But I have no faith that they'll win that game at all.
Yeah.
You got the Saints at the Seahawks. The way I just saw the Seahawks play against them Steelers, goodbye, Saints.
Yeah, Saints will be blowed out that game.
Here's a good one. You got the Cow Bitches at the Bears. Bears. I wish I could even give you a chance, but this is another sacrificial lamb.
And that's what's annoying about this game is we're going to be here to chirping of the Dallas Cowboys after this game because they really going to think they beat somebody. And
they're going to, yeah. And this team normally plays better away anyway. It's an away game. Dak throws fewer interceptions. CD Pickens started looking pretty good yesterday, actually, against the Giants. You started seeing a lot of Pickens sightings. So I think they're both going to get real loose and free. I think the tight end is going to get loose and free. I think Javonte Williams is going to have another 100-yard game. And I think Caleb Williams, even with Jadeveon Clowney being back there, is probably going to be uncomfortable and probably end up with multiple sacks and interceptions, even with a porous secondary like the Cowboys. I do not think DJ Moore or any of the other receivers are going to be anything for the Cowboys in this.
No, it's a get right game.
Get right game for the Cowboys. Yep, absolutely. You got the midriff Cardinals at the 49ers. Somehow I think that 49ers are going to win this game, even with Mac. If Mac Jones plays like he did, C-Mac don't get hurt. Why not? Pearsall is coming into his own, even without Ayuk, even without Kittle. This is a very injury-plagued team, but Kyle Shanahan seems to continue to just put it in a different quarterback's hands, and they do not miss a beat.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Niners. They're the more physical team, and not taking too much from the Cardinals. They were physical too, but they were physicals against the Pampers. And that's a big difference.
I the Pampers. Nice. All right, two more. We got the Chiefs at the Giants. Monday night, Sunday night football, NBC, 8:20 kickoff. The Chiefs, I think, are going to get their first win, but I think the Giants are going to give it to them. I mean, all they got.
Yeah, the Giants have all the momentum here.
And it's in New York.
And it's in New York. I might, if Kansas City had won yesterday, would be like, yeah, the Giants could catch these guys, but everything in me cannot see the Chiefs going 0-3. I just cannot see that.
Because
not with Andy Reid.
If they do, Missouri might fall. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Andy Reid with an extra day of preparation time gets the job done, especially against the Giants, who are not, all that.
I think Chris Jones and them guys up front are going to be able to really pressure Russell Wilson in a way that's going to bait him into thinking that he sees what he sees and then throw some crazy picks. We'll see how many moon balls he can throw in this game. but yeah, I think as if Hollywood Brown and some of these other receivers can just be somewhat serviceable, they should be able to win this game.
Yeah.
The game of the week, to me, though, the overall game of the week early on is going to be Lions and Ravens on next Monday. There's no doubleheader. It's going to be in Baltimore. You got Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery running on one side. You got King Henry on the other side. You got Jared Goff throwing 5 touchdowns yesterday. You got Lamar Jackson throwing 4 touchdowns yesterday.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be a total 80-something point game?
Could be. I mean, I was sitting here. I didn't even look at the schedule for week 3, so I didn't know who was playing who. But I did make the comparison early in this show of both teams being similar, as the aspect of winning in multiple ways, either running or passing. Mm-hmm. And here they are getting locked up in week 3. That's
week
crazy.
3
and prime time. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm going to lean Ravens until I see otherwise.
I'm only going to lean Ravens because they're at home. Same like I did with the Chargers and the Broncos. Same way. But I expect this to be either a great defensive fest where it's a low-scoring game, or both offenses figure it out after halftime, and it's just who end up with the ball at the end is probably going to win this damn game.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it being that. If there's a blowout, I would be more surprised. But I could see this game going down to who leaves too much time on the clock at the end of the game to give the other team a chance to come back and score.
Yeah, hell of a primetime game. Wow.
Yeah, so a lot to look at with that. Just an update, is still 14-10 at the half with the Buccaneers and the Texans. Again, we got the Chargers and the Raiders at 10 o'clock. So y'all stay tuned for that. We're going to leave y'all for this week and join y'all again next Monday to review all of the games and then preview that hella Ravens Lions game as well. Remember, if you're betting, bet responsibly, bet with your head, not with your heart. If your team suck, don't bet on that. Just don't do it. I'm sorry.
Never bet on Bryce Young unless you're betting for under 200 yards passing.
Well, you know what? I did have a parlay on Bryce Young, and I won within the first quarter. The parlay was Bryce Young interceptions plus 0.5. Easily a yes.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to think about that one as a parlay. Like, of
Take
course.
that money all day long.
I did. I took it willingly. I was like, really? Is this a question?
I wish you would pass me that one.
Look, I could play Bryce Young on Madden and he'll throw an interception. Ain't no way. Come on now.
Yeah.
Even
I was so mad at myself, man. I know we got to get out of here, and this is switching a little bit, but I said Bud not by knockout. I said Bud by decision, but I didn't put any money on it.
Oh,
and that's
my
exactly
God.
What took place.
Oh, my God.
And I'm just kicking myself today. I really am.
You know what? Me too. I could have bet on that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Nah, Randall, if I was a Giants fan, I'll be calling for Russell Wilson's head. Oh, Anthony sent that a while back. Really?
I don't know what for. You must not have seen it yesterday.
You know what? Because he let the end of the game erase all of the other stuff Russ did during the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think you Stephen A. Smith did that earlier today too, because he gave him all of his props, but he said you just can't make that throw. And then I get it, but I know what he was trying to do. And look, it shouldn't have even been that close to damn begin with. That's more of an indictment on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I could tell you Giants fans are rejuvenated right now. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I think they were still happy. Look, I get it. There's no such thing as a moral victory. A win is a win. I get all of that. I agree with that. But if you are a Giants fan, how can you not feel good about your young receivers, Robinson, Neighbors, even your running game a little bit? Look, you got some options at quarterback. You're not desperate to start Cam Ward, or like how Cam Ward has to start, or there could be a change in New Orleans with Shuck taking over for Rattler, or things like that, where you actually have a chance to win some games with Russell Wilson. You do.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, I picked the Giants to finish third in the division because I have no confidence in the Cowboys, and watching them play down to that competition is one of the reasons why. Because it took extra stuff for them to have to win a game that should not have been that damn hard to begin with.
Yeah.
So, and not being able to get as much pressure on Russell makes me go, damn, where's Micah Parsons when you need him? Anyway.
Not in Dallas.
I do know that. Oh, you know well? Oh no. They found even an upgrade. His name is Jadeveon Clowney. Y'all
Oh
can
yeah.
have all of that.
Yep.
We tried in Carolina. So
Enjoy them 4 sacks, just like I
anyway.
said.
All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna get up out of here. Y'all enjoy the games and everything. Rand, we'll see you next week. Oh, and by the way, guys, y'all check on Instagram for my boys, the Kendrick Colt. They are performing in the area. Go to IG, check Kendrick Colt. They just played at the Brickyard this past weekend, I do believe. And they will still be out in the area. Check them out as always.
Old Mecklenburg
All right.
Brewery, Valentine, 6 p.m. to
OMB.
9 p.m. Good early start on Saturday, October 4th. See y'all there.
Okay, this is OMB on Yancey Street.
Yep.
All right. Sounds like a plan, y'all. Come check them out. We will see y'all again next week. Y'all take it easy. Peace.